Kansas City's injury report dropped a little storm on Wednesday, and I want to walk you through the who, the how serious, and what it means for Sunday in Buffalo. The big names you need to know right away are Isaiah Pacheco, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Trey Smith, all on Wednesday's report, and each brings a different worry for the Chiefs. Pacheco, the tough downhill runner who's been the primary ground game identity this year, left the Commanders game with a knee injury and was diagnosed. With a sprained MCL, he didn't practice on Wednesday and is being listed as week to week. That's a major red flag for Sunday because Pacheco's physical style is what helps the Chiefs control tempo and set up play action. Hollywood Brown missed practice due to illness, so that's less about a new surgically precarious injury and more about whether he'll be under the weather, limited, or available at game time. Brown has been a consistent presence in the passing game, and when he's not fully available, it forces adjustments in matchups and target distribution. And with Buffalo's secondary, you don't want uncertainty there on Sunday. Trey Smith, who's quietly become a key piece of the interior line after earning a big extension, was limited in practice with a back issue after missing Week 8. Any interior lineman question comes with playoff-level anxiety for me because Mahomes' pocket time is often won or lost inside. If Smith's availability is limited, that could mean rotation, changes or different blocking assignments that slow down the Chiefs' run game and reduce pass protection consistency. Before we dive into personnel solutions, let's get the scoreboard context out of the way. The Chiefs are riding a 3-game win streak and have looked dominant in those wins, but Buffalo is no small task. This is a revenge-flavored AFC rematch, and the Bills have been firing on most cylinders themselves. The stakes are real, so how the Chiefs manage these limited players matters. So what's the immediate operational impact? First, if Pacheco is limited or out, expect Kareem Hunt to pick up more second down and short yardage reps. Hunt's listed as practicing, but has had ankle issues this week, so he's not a perfect plug-and-play. The Chiefs could also lean heavier on two-back sets, more shotgun RPOs, and quick passing to take heat off the line. If Smith's snaps are reduced, the coaching staff could shuffle interior guards, and that may force quicker releases. From Mahomes, more max protection calls, or heavier use of chip blocks from tight ends. Each of those adjustments eats into the big play ceiling the offense normally has. What I want you to do right now is this. Tell me in the comments, would you want Isaiah Pacheco active on Sunday if he's listed as limited? Vote yes if you'd play him in a limited role. No if you'd hold him out. This matters because your voice shapes our fan conversation, and it helps me decide what to break down next. Also, if you're enjoying this update and want a 2-minute pregame follow-up on Saturday, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing for 6,000 subscribers, and every new sub helps the channel drop these quick, must-watch updates for Chiefs fans. Finally, quick housekeeping on timelines. The Chiefs traveled to Orchard Park to face the Bills this Sunday, and the injury report updates later in the week will determine how aggressive Andy Reid gets with his game plan. For now, treat Pacheco as questionable until we get Friday's practice report, monitor Brown for availability, and watch Smith's practice reps. If Smith ramps up practice reps, that's a green sign for the offensive line. If those reps don't come, expect the staff to game plan for more short, quick, and safe options early. Kansas City's run game has quietly been the engine behind some of their most complete offensive performances this season. And losing or even limiting Isaiah Pacheco could change the personality of this offense in a big way. You've seen it. Pacheco runs with that unmistakable energy, the violent steps, the shoulder-down bursts that set the emotional tone early. He's the guy who can take a routine 2nd and 5 and turn it into a statement play that wakes up both sidelines. Without him, the Chiefs have to get creative. Let's start with Kareem Hunt, who's trying to get his body right after his own ankle issue. He practiced this week, which is a good sign, but you can tell he's still working, back toward his top gear. When he's fully healthy, Hunt offers a blend of vision and short area quickness that fits perfectly in Andy Reid's system. If Hunt can handle even 10 to 12 touches against Buffalo, that might be enough to keep the Bills honest. The big key is whether Reid and offensive coordinator Matt Nagy trust him to handle pass protection and checkdowns with the same confidence they give to Pacheco. Another name to keep an eye on is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's been patient in his role, but has shown flashes when called upon. His strength is in the quick pass game, screens, draws, and the occasional delayed handoff. And that could be the area where Kansas City looks to stretch the Bills' defense horizontally, rather than trying to hammer them inside without their main power back. Buffalo's front seven, even without some of their injured starters, still plays aggressive downhill football. You can't just run directly into that wall for 4 quarters. That's why I think we might see the Chiefs use more RPOs, run-pass options, early in this matchup. It's something Mahomes and Reid like to lean on when they're managing injury situations, because it puts defensive ends and linebackers in conflict without forcing heavy contact for the running backs. You might see Mahomes keep the ball a few times, or even design more quick slants and hitches off the fake handoff. If that starts clicking, it keeps Buffalo guessing, and it helps buy Mahomes an extra beat of safety inside the pocket. And while we're on the topic of play-calling adjustments, don't be surprised if Jerick McKinnon sees his snap count rise. His pass protection awareness and route running out of the backfield have always made him a trusted option when the offense is trying to stay balanced but doesn't have its main bell cow back. Even if McKinnon isn't used heavily in the run game, he's a great safety valve to punish Buffalo's linebackers if they get too aggressive. What fans need to remember here is that Andy Reid has always found ways to scheme around injuries. When Pacheco was limited before, the Chiefs used motion, tight formations, and quick screens to replace the production. You might not see the bruising downhill runs, but you'll see efficiency. What Kansas City has to avoid is getting predictable. If Buffalo senses they're not going to test the box, they'll tighten coverage and make it a long night for Mahomes. Now, I want your take. If you were drawing up the plan for this game, would you rather see the Chiefs trust Kareem Hunt with the bulk of the carries? Or would you go heavy on RPOs and let Mahomes take over? Let me know down in the comments. More Hunt or more Mahomes? And if you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit that like button right now. Every like tells YouTube that Chiefs fans are engaged, and it helps us reach our next milestone: 6,000 subscribers. When we talk about adjustments in the passing game, the real story this week is about depth and timing. The Chiefs' offense lives and dies by how clean Mahomes' pocket is and how consistently his receivers separate early in routes. With Trey Smith nursing a back issue and Marquise Hollywood Brown missing practice because of illness, there's a lot of uncertainty around both of those keys: protection and separation. Let's start up front. Trey Smith is one of those players who doesn't always get the national spotlight, but he's the kind of lineman who lets Mahomes be Mahomes. His power, his ability to anchor against interior rushers, and his communication with center Creed Humphrey are a huge part of why the Chiefs' offensive line chemistry has looked so solid this year. If he's even slightly limited, that cohesion can be disrupted. One missed pickup on a delayed blitz can change a drive. And against Buffalo, those moments can swing momentum fast. If Smith can't go full, Kansas City might rotate backup linemen or adjust their slide protections. That means you'll probably see more help from the tight ends and backs. Travis Kelce chipping before releasing, or Jerick McKinnon lining up next to Mahomes for extra blocking support. That's a fine short-term plan, but it can also slow down the rhythm of the passing game. Every extra second spent helping in protection is a second less for route development downfield. Then there's the receiver situation. Hollywood Brown has quietly become one of the most important pieces in this passing game. Even if he's not putting up monster numbers every week, defenses respect his speed and his ability to stretch coverage. When he's not out there, or if he's playing while under the weather, defenders start shading their attention toward Travis Kelce. That makes the offense more predictable and puts extra pressure on Rashee Rice and rookie Xavier Worthy to carry the load. Rice has been the guy who steps up in those moments. His short area burst and strength after the catch make him a perfect target on quick slants and crossers. Worthy, on the other hand, has that top-end speed that forces safeties to think twice. If Hollywood can't go or isn't 100%, Worthy may get a lot more opportunities to attack the intermediate zones and even some deep shots down the sideline. The chemistry between Mahomes and Worthy is still developing, but this could be the kind of game where it takes a big leap forward. Don't be surprised if you see Kansas City testing Buffalo with motion-heavy sets, quick shifts that give Mahomes a read on coverage before the snap. It's a subtle trick Reid uses when he knows his line might be banged up. It allows Mahomes to make faster decisions, cut down the time he holds the ball, and keep the offense moving even if protection isn't perfect. Expect a lot of quick outs, shallow drags, and short hitches designed to get the ball out in under 2 seconds. There's another name worth mentioning here, Justin Watson. He's that steady, reliable option who can make tough catches in traffic and handle those gritty routes that keep drives alive. If Brown isn't 100%, Watson's targets could quietly climb. And if Smith's absence leads to quicker throws, Watson's timing routes become even more valuable. Here's a question for you. If Hollywood Brown can't play at full strength, who do you trust most to step up in the passing game? Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, or Travis Kelce? Drop your pick in the comments, and let's see where Chiefs Kingdom stands. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're closing in on our 6,000 subscriber goal, and with your help, we can hit that milestone before the Bills game even kicks off. By the time Sunday rolls around, everything we've talked about, injuries, adjustments, and timing, will come down to execution. The Chiefs know this isn't just another mid-season game, this is a statement opportunity. Buffalo's been a measuring stick for Kansas City over the past few years, and the Chiefs want to remind everyone that they're still the team to beat in the AFC. But to do that, they'll have to play smart football, protect Mahomes, and manage every possession like it matters. So, let's break down what I'll be watching most closely when kickoff hits. The first thing is simple: the running back rotation. If Isaiah Pacheco suits up, even in a limited role, I expect him to get those emotional early down carries just to set the tone. But the coaching staff will be cautious. If his knee doesn't respond well pregame, the plan shifts. That's where Kareem Hunt, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jerick McKinnon come in. The early drives will tell us everything. If the Chiefs are gaining 4 or 5 yards per run, that opens up the entire playbook. If not, expect Mahomes to take over sooner rather than later. Second, I'll be watching Trey Smith's snap count. Back issues can flare up unexpectedly, so if he plays, pay attention to how often he's rotating or getting checked on the sideline. The offensive line's ability to handle Buffalo's interior rush will determine whether Mahomes can stay comfortable in the pocket. If that pocket collapses too often, we'll see quick throws, rollouts, and maybe even more screen passes to counter the Bills' aggression. Third, keep an eye on Marquise Hollywood Brown's availability. If he's active and feeling decent after being sick, Kansas City can stretch the field and open lanes underneath for Kelsey and Rice. If he's limited, the offense will rely more heavily on short yardage precision, using Kelsey and Worthy to move the chains methodically. Either way, the Chiefs have enough weapons to keep the ball moving. It just depends on rhythm and consistency. And here's the intangible element: energy. You can feel when this team is playing with that spark, when the sidelines are alive, when Mahomes is laughing after a big play, when Kelsey's pointing downfield to hype the crowd. Even with injuries, that swagger can carry Kansas City through tough stretches. Your Tikis, Bills' defense will bring pressure, but the Chiefs thrive when they play loose and confident. Now, if we're talking about how this game unfolds, I think it'll be a chess match early. Expect Andy Reid to open with safe plays, test Buffalo's coverage tendencies, and then gradually expand the playbook as the game settles in. Buffalo's linebackers have been aggressive all year, so I wouldn't be shocked to see a few misdirection plays or jet sweeps. Maybe even Worthy or Rice getting a carry just to keep the defense honest. Defensively, Kansas City just needs to keep playing their game. Spagnuolo's unit has been one of the most consistent in football this year, and they've shown they can handle high-powered offenses. The challenge here is containing Josh Allen's mobility while still generating pressure. The offense can only do so much. The defense might be the real X factor in whether the Chiefs come out of Buffalo with a win. Here's my honest take. If Pacheco doesn't play, the game becomes a grind. The Chiefs will need Mahomes to be surgical, mistake-free, and patient. It might not be flashy, but that's the kind of football that wins on the road in late October. If he gets enough protection, I think Kansas City pulls out a close one. Something like 27-23 Chiefs. But it's going to require discipline, creativity, and, more than anything, focus. Now I want to hear from you. What's your prediction for this game? Drop your final score down in the comments and tell me what you think the biggest X factor will be. Is it Pacheco's health, the offensive line, maybe Mahomes' pocket protection? I'll be reading through every comment before we go live with the post-game reaction video. And if you've been enjoying this breakdown, take a second right now to hit that like button. It really does help push our videos out to more fans across Chiefs Kingdom. And don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. And with your help, we can hit that milestone before the Bills game even kicks off. This matchup is going to test Kansas City's depth and resilience, but if there's one thing we've learned over the years, it's never to doubt this team when the lights are bright. So, buckle up, enjoy Sunday, and I'll see you right after the final whistle with full analysis and reaction. Go Chiefs!